Show front camera. Show rear camera. Dude. Today, we're going to be installing the Wolfbox G900 Tri Pro and replacing our factory mirror with something a whole lot newer. This thing is a mirror, a dash cam, and it's got 3 cameras, front, rear, and a bumper camera, which is honestly the reason why we're installing this today. If you didn't know, I solo off-road a lot, and the camera in the front bumper is gonna help us a lot with approach and just not having a spotter on some of the more mediocre trails. But before we get to installing this, let me show you some of the features real quick.
So this thing is a rearview mirror and a dash cam all in one, but once you start the truck up, it turns into a whole lot more than that. Rear camera view automatically pops up. It's touchscreen, so you can just flip over to the front bumper camera, the front camera, and then the dual setup, which is one of my favorites. It's touchscreen, but it's also voice controlled. Show rear camera. And if you don't want any of that, one button turns it back into a normal mirror. And now the dash cam side. The footage is genuinely sharp. 3 different cameras means I've got options on what I'm actually looking at. I've never run a dash cam before, but knowing this thing is always recording now, God forbid something happens on the road, that alone makes it worth having. And it looks clean. It's not your normal dash cam where you can see it and it's just hanging off the windshield. What actually caught me off guard was how much you can dig into the settings. There is so much in here that you can mess with. All right, let's get this thing installed.
In the main box, we have the mirror itself, a bracket, user manual, camera cables and rubber straps, our bumper camera, and our rear camera. And the kit that we got comes with the SD card for the mirror as well. The hardwire kit for 24-hour monitoring, and the bracket for the OEM mounting. First thing we need to do is obviously remove our existing mirror. And to do that, all you need is a T15 Torx bit. And all you gotta do is take out your existing wiring, out with the old, let's bring in the new. If you are going with the OEM bracket, you are going to want to take these pads off, and then there's a Phillips head screwdriver that you're gonna wanna remove.
You're gonna wanna remove all 4 of those screws, and then once you're done with that, you can grab your new bracket and the bracket that goes onto your windshield itself.
This is what your back of your mirror should look like, all tidied up, if you're using the OEM bracket replacement. Now we can install what we just put on by just sliding it on. Now you're done. That's how you install your Wolfbox. We'll see you guys in the next video. Psych, we still gotta wire this boy up. To wire this mirror up, it's really simple. So what we're gonna be doing is using the hardwire kit. You can use this, which it goes to a cigarette lighter and then you plug it into your mirror. But for a more permanent solution, we are going to be hardwiring this into the fuse box inside the GX. In our GX, the fuse box that we are going to be wiring to is right here underneath the steering wheel. And then now we just have to figure out what fuse we want to pick. For the red wire, we're just going to look for an ACC fuse, and then for the yellow wire, we're going to look for something like the power for the seats. Luckily, on our fuse box, we have both. This is for the driver power seat, and then that is an ACC fuse. Now locate what added fuses you're going to be wiring to our wiring harness and plug in the fuses that we just took out. Both fuses are wired, so now let's plug them back in. All right, we have everything wired up, and we have found a ground wire right next to this blue piece. I don't really know what you call this, but before we completely wire tuck this up to our Wolfbox, we should see if it works first. Wolfbox is plugged in. We got it working. Unfortunately, we don't have any features right now. Don't have the cameras wired up, or we don't have the GPS wired up, so we got some work to do still. But we can tuck our wires and get it looking all nice and pretty. Actually, I take back what I just said. We are going to do this tomorrow, just so we can do it all in one go. We know it works, and we got it wired though. We're back in action, and we're gonna route up both the rear and the front camera to see if we like the position that they're mounted at. So with the rear, we're not gonna be mounting it on the outside for now. We're gonna be mounting it right here on the inside of the back window. And then front bumper, we're still sticking with that same spot right underneath the bull bar right here so I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm thinking if we point it down through it, it might, but we're gonna test it out. That's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna route up both cameras and see if we like the mounting positions, and if we do, we can keep them, and if we don't, we can move them. Kind of a rough estimate of where we want it and kind of that direction pointing down, but if this is too much in the way, we can always move it up. Now that we got everything kind of wired up, not clean, but just for test purposes to see if we like where the cameras are mounted, happy with our camera placements right now. The front bumper camera is honestly pretty good. It's as low as we can mount it without mounting it on the actual bumper itself, and I don't think that will look too clean. And the rear camera looks pretty good as well. This is the front camera on the mirror. This is the bumper camera. As you can see, if we scroll up, we can see the bull bar, but if we go down, it's perfect. And then here is the rear camera, and it doesn't look too dark right now, so I think these will work out. Next thing we have to do is route all of our wiring, which shouldn't be too bad. We just gotta pop some panels out and make sure it looks clean, because I am super OCD about wires looking good.
This is vehicle specific, but if you do have a GX, you're going to take off this handle and then pry open the A-pillar.
Make sure you're extra careful with this A-pillar, because I just realized the airbag is right there. That would suck. So we have this crevice open. We're gonna run the wire kind of right by the airbag and then in this, and then we're just gonna run it along the top of this. We don't even really have to take this out. It's kind of hard to get an angle on it, but this pries up ever so slightly so we can cleanly run the wires to the top of this. So that's what we're gonna do for the power wire and the front bumper wire. We're gonna run them through this A-pillar. And then for the rear camera and the GPS, we are gonna run that the other way, kind of along the B-pillar and then along this whole edge for the rear camera. And I'll show you where we're gonna mount the GPS in 1 second after we get this side wired up.
Before we started routing our wire for the front camera, we had to get it mounted perfectly, so we were cutting into our front grille. Now this may be different for you depending on what grille you're using if you go this route, but for me, I just had to take off the middle piece and then the camera slid right in there.
So I already have a lot of wires running through the firewall, so it is really difficult to get more wires through that firewall. Idea: run it through this little hole right here, boom, boom, right to the A-pillar, and then run it up into our camera. Pretty genius if you ask me. For the front camera, we're gonna see if we can get away with just using some double-sided tape. It's probably some of the best OEM Plus fitment we could have got. That's clean.
Now we just had to figure out a clean way to wire it to the bottom of the hood and through the fender. Then it was time to wire tuck everything with the pillars and the headliner to make it as clean as possible. Now time to put everything back together and see how the wire tuck came out.
First two wires are successfully routed, and you honestly can't even tell we just routed any wires aside from them hanging out right here.
To tuck all of that excess wire down to the fuses, we went down the window molding and then took those two fuse wires and put them down through that plastic to connect them, and we took all of our excess wiring and tucked it away.
Bada bing, bada boom. Let me show you what we got going. Wires completely plugged in. Where are they? Absolutely zero wires you're able to see. Fully wired up to our fuses, and the whole, actually you can see this one wire right there to the engine bay, but it just goes along the A-pillar down here and then all gets tucked away in this. I just realized I don't have my microphone on, so I apologize if the content sounds like poop because my mic was not on. Anyway, now we're gonna wire up our GPS. But before we get to this, if you do not get the OEM replacement mirror mount, they provide straps so you can just completely strap this to your existing mirror without taking off any mirror or getting rid of any mirror. you just strap the Wolfbox on with this. We're gonna mount up our GPS right on our dash. And while we're doing this, we're gonna route our rear camera, or start routing our rear camera to the back of the car.
Same process as before. Take off your window molding, that handle, and your B-pillar, and then start routing the wires. I ended up mounting the GPS right by the window air blower. It might be a bad idea, but we're gonna find out if it works. With the rear wiring, same process as before. We're just gonna follow the headliner all the way to the back of the car. With my specific setup, I had a little bit of a speed bump. Since I have the drawers installed, I wasn't able to pop out that rear panel to route it through the wire loom that goes to the rear hatch. So our new game plan was going to route it down the headliner to the wire loom and then inside of the rear door panel. Not as clean, but since our drawers are there, this is the only way we can go. You will also notice there's a red wire that goes to the camera. That is for reverse mode. That gets wired to your reverse light. For us, we're not going to be routing that, but it is useful if you're putting it by the license plate.
Everything is wired and everything is tucked. All of our wires start right here. 2 of them go this way, 2 of them go that way. GPS is wired right there. Everything either is just running down either the A pillar or the B pillar, down the column of where the window molding goes, and then for the backup camera, we just ran it along the headliner all the way to the rear. Last thing we need to do is throw in an SD card and we're done. 256 gigabyte high endurance SD card. All we need to do is just pop this Johnson Wolfbox. It's fully wired, powered up, SD card's rolling, GPS is rolling, all 3 cameras are rolling. Would you just look at that? Fully rolling, and we got the GPS on there. Everything is set up. All of the cameras are rolling. First impressions, we're giving it a 10 out of 10. We haven't even drove on the road yet, and this thing is blowing my mind. Check this out. Show rear camera. Show bumper camera. Show front camera. We got 2026 tech in a 2004. Let's go. Before we go into the features some more and hit the trail with this thing, let's go over some of the dash cam features, because I've never had a dash cam before and I'm super excited to finally have one.
Some cool things about the dash cam: it records on all 3 cameras at once, and each of them is a different resolution. So the front camera is 4K, the rear camera is 2.5K, and then the bumper camera is 1080p. And the footage for the front and the rear camera is honestly really sharp, and you can see license plates really clearly. Another really cool feature that I found was the monitoring mode. I have it set to 48-hour time-lapse recording while I'm parked. So whenever I'm parked, it's just constantly going. And it honestly held up better than I expected once it got dark out. The footage still stays clean and usable, and it's not super grainy. But overall, the dash cam has impressed me a lot. I could even use some of the front camera footage for some trail videos.
We're back and we took this thing off-roading, and let me tell you, the trail we were on was pretty difficult, and there was a bunch of parts where I needed to know where my front tires were and like where my departure angle was. And I used the camera a bunch. Switch to the bumper camera, aim it down a little bit, and then now I can see everything that's in front of me. I'll pop some clips on the screen of when I was using it. But the cool thing about this is you have so much versatility of where you can put it. You don't have to put that front camera in the front bumper. You can put it on your frame rail, on your rear, by your axles. Like, it doesn't matter where it goes. You can put it virtually anywhere to see if you're about to hit, if you have clearance, multiple different scenarios. But like I was saying, there was a bunch of technical lines and like rock gardens that I was using the camera to see if I was in the right spot and taking the right line. Where this camera would be super helpful is places like Fins and Things in Moab, or even Hell's Revenge. Because on those steep climbs, you can't see when you're coming over the crest of the hill. You can't see what's in front of you. So this camera in your bumper is like your eyes. My favorite feature about this so far is while driving, I will have it on the dual camera feature. So I have the rear camera there and then my front camera right there. The GPS is nice, as well as it tells me the time and the date. And it's hands-free as well. If I wanted to show the rear camera, all I have to say is, show rear camera.
Pretty cool. What I noticed with the rear camera, the placement I have is not bad. The only time it's really bad is at night, but I do have 5% tint on, so I think eventually we're gonna move it to the license plate spot, but it's super helpful for blind spots. Driving this big old boat, and I got my fridge back there, so my blind spot is kind of covered up if the car is low. This thing, I noticed, I'll look, and a car will be in my blind spot, and then I'll look on the rear camera, and the car, I can see the car before it passes me while it's in my blind spot. Now we have a dash cam. We can see what lines we're taking better, front and rear camera. Another thing to add, if you always have stuff in your car that's blocking the rear glass, this is a game changer because now you have visibility again to see what's behind you. Almost forgot to mention this, Wolfbox has an app as well. I'm in the app right now, and you can access all the files that are on your SD card. So like for example, we're gonna watch back this clip from today. Oh, that's crazy. It tells you the miles per hour you were going as well, and the location of the camera. That's pretty cool. It tells you your speed, location, and you can watch back clips if you need to access them quickly. Pretty cool. If you're looking for a dash cam and a digital mirror that does basically every job in the book, you should get yourself one of these. Link will be in my bio for the Wolfbox G900 Tri Pro. At the price point they sell it at, I feel like it's a no-brainer because the upside to it is there. You get a lot of benefits, and it's pretty bang for your buck for the benefits that you get. I'm excited to put this to use on some more advanced trails, but till then, we'll see you. Drive safe.